Alright, so this is a new tutorial for rigging the letter E. So this is what I have so far. It's aligned to the center, meaning that, for example, from the top down, you could see it's dead centered. In the front, it is also dead centered, and at the bottom, as well as the side view, dead centered and at the bottom. And there's no history, no what do you call that, the retopology history or any history. There's no transformational values in here. All of these are super important. It's also named as well, and I put a display layer and named it as underscore E mesh, as well as the naming. And I'm gonna show what can be animated. So I'm gonna play this animation. I'm gonna show the controllers and the bones. So I think it's pretty decent, I'm gonna press P, and I'm gonna press P so that when it plays the play blast, we won't see the bones or the controllers. This is not bad. Let me make the transparency gone. And this is the final rig, meaning everything's in here. It's also obviously, you can tell that the scale has been animated. Super cool. So this is all purely forward kinematics based. Yep. So that's what it's gonna be. So even though this is a relatively very simple rig, for what it's worth, it's pretty darn robust. Anyway, so I'm gonna be starting on that. One moment. Alright, so from here, make sure that we have our menu set to rigging. Okay, and then from there, and let me just make room. Alright, so I'm gonna, same thing, I'm gonna wipe out all my tools that I put on my shelf, so that students who are just watching for the first time, that you can see what tools I'm putting on the shelf. Alright, so from here, first tool I need is the create joint tool. So rigging menu, skeleton, create joints, and to put on the shelf, it's Control Shift and left click. Boom. So I'm gonna click that. You'll see a little crosshair icon, right? And I'm gonna just plop one there. It says joint 1. I'm gonna just press W, but we don't see it. You need to press over here. There, see? And then I'm gonna name it immediately E root JNT. There, E root JNT for your root joint. Root joint means where all other subsequent chains will branch off of the root joint. So I'm gonna place it right around here. Okay, and then from there, what I'm gonna do is, you know what? Let me put this in a display layer. Click here with the bone selected. Double click here. Underscore E bones underscore save, like that. Alright, I'm gonna make a copy of this. Control D as in David. I'm gonna scoot it over, and immediately I'm gonna name it, let me see here, arm1 underscore JNT and underscore 01. Actually, you know what, I think I want to make the spine first, or should I just start off with this? Fine, I'll just start with this. Not that, you know, really matters, but whatever. 0.5. I scaled it down, meaning the radius, to 0.5. It's just purely to help me kind of see and differentiate what is what. I'm going to put my mesh as a reference so I don't grab it. And then from there, so I have this. Alright, and you notice that if I turn the bones display off, both of the bones are already in here. So that's a nice little thing. And let me just double check something. Alright, so this is going to be just classified as an arm, this body part. So I named it arm1 joint 1. I'm going to make a copy of it, Control D as in David. As you can see, the naming convention follows along very nicely. At the end it says 02. I'm going to scoot it over right around here. One thing I do notice is that the distance from here to here, I want the bones to be more in the middle, like around here. Maybe even a little bit more. Yeah, something like that. So that's good. And then I want this much distance. This guy, I put it really close to the root joint for a reason. And the reason why is because of this, where, so let me just show this. So you'll notice this, right? This is my controller, but the controller is manipulating the bone. But see, this is why I put the joint so close to the root joint, because the actual pivot point happens, how do you see this? Right. So the pivot point, it does not, if you don't have a joint here, and if you place the joint here instead, it's not gonna pivot off of here. So you need to put one over here in order to make it pivot from the stem or the base. Yeah. So that's the reason why. You'll notice that in all of my tutorials I emphasize that a lot. Anyway, from here, Control D as in David, about this much spacing, maybe a little bit like that, and one more, Control D as in David. I'm going to put it right around here. I used to put it outside around here, but I think what happens is that it starts to lose how many influence that the bone has onto the vertices. So I've just made it safe and put it inside. So this is the distance that I set up, something like that. So far so good. And then what I want to do is start on the spine. I'm going to grab the root joint, JNT. I'm going to make a copy of it, Control D as in David. And I'm going to lift it up. And immediately I'm going to name it as E spine JNT 01. Like that. I'm going to make it smaller. I don't know, 0.5. This one was 0.5 as well too. And yeah, so this is spine 01. Same thing, I want the spine to be close to the root joint, because I want to be able to swivel off of here. Yeah, because if not, if you place your spine joint up here, it's gonna swivel from here and not from here. I already mentioned it, but I have to mention it again because it's it leads up to better rigging for characters as well later down the line. even though this is an alphabet. Anyway, so I did that. And then from there, I'm going to do Control D as in David. And as you can see, the naming convention follows along very nicely. Right. And then after that, I'm periodically looking at my example file, so just bear with me. Make another copy, and I'm gonna place these two somewhere around here. And I think I want to make it like 0.35. And you know what, these down here too, radius of 0.35. It's just so you can see that these are swivel joints. Just realigning. Something like that. That's good. Alright, and then so that and that, maybe a little bit like that. Yeah, now I'm gonna grab this, Control D as in David, scoot it up. I'm gonna put this radius of 0.5. I don't know, maybe, I don't know, 0.5, 0.6. I just made a radius of 0.6. Again, it's just purely for visual sake, you know, so I can just see visually. Yeah. And then from there, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab these guys from the inside out. I think I'm gonna make a copy of it. Control D as in David. Bam. I'm gonna scoot it up like so. And then I'm gonna grab this, chuck it over here. Maybe do that a bit. Maybe do that a bit. Something like that. Yeah. I'm just guesstimating. And I think I need to also rename it. I'm gonna grab from the inside out, holding shift. I'm going to rename these, and the way I'm gonna do that is I'm just gonna, I could use this over here. This is also used in rigging, but instead I'm just gonna go up to modify, search and replace names. I'm gonna put on the shelf, Control Shift left click, bam. And that's search and replace name, SARN. Under modify, search and replace. Boom. So I'm gonna look for arm 1, replace it with arm 2. I can't replace the joint names, only the arm 1. Replace it with arm 2, hit apply. And there you have it. Then I have to go in manually, double check that this is for that. I'll put 1. This matches with this, just to confirm it's actually second joint. This matches with that. That confirms it to be the third joint. And this obviously matches to the fourth joint there. So arm 2, joint 1, arm 2, joint 2, arm 2, joint 3, arm 2, joint 4. And there you have it. Then I'm going to grab my spine joint 04, making a copy of it, Control D as in David. Hey. I saved it by accident. Control D instead of Control S. So that's spine joint 5. And I'm not going to place it close by. I'm just going to place it probably right here. I'm going to reduce the size to like 0.35. 0.35. Whatever you do not scale the joints, just don't do that. So that's spine joint 5. Control D as in David. Make a copy, scoot it up somewhere around there. something like that, something like that. Control D, make a copy of that joint, scoot it up around here, scale it to 0.65. Alright, so that's 0.65. This one, I'm gonna make it 0.65, and this one 0.65. And 0.6. Alright, so after that I'm gonna grab these arms, the ball joints, and shift select from the inside out. I keep on saying selecting from the inside out because it maintains the selection order, because if I do it like something like this, it jacks up all the selection order and it's super annoying as hell. So you select from the inside out, 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 Control D, and as you can see, it's all in order, and scoot it up like so. Let's check it out. Yeah, all in order. Grab it here again and use the search and replace name. I'm gonna replace arm 2, replace it with arm 3. This is the third arm, that's why. Third arm set, apply. As you can see, it's all renamed, but I have to go in manually, leave it as joint 1, joint 2, joint 3, joint 4. Boom, all done. So that's setting up all the bones, and they're all on the layer. Very nice. And I'm gonna grab this and just kind of scoot it forward a bit. Just checking out the spacing, more or less. Yeah. Because wherever you place the bones, right, is where it's gonna obviously, you know, bend from. I do have to mention that, because it's the idea of bones and everything, it's very abstract, you know. See? And as you can see, the controller, it's the controller, right down here, its location is exactly where the bone is. Hence, you know, the range of motion begins here. You know. Another side note, to pose your character, you grab from the outside in. See? And then you can grab from here, outside in. So again, I'm mentioning this many times over because when I was learning many years ago, it was hard to understand and conceptualize the idea of how much and where each joint will be influencing the meat of the character, meaning its flesh. Anyway, I named this as let me see, skinny variant, placement underscore of joint nubs. So I just named it as that. Yeah, joint nubs placement. So I'm gonna end it like that for this one. That's only 20 minutes, and I'm gonna continue onward afterwards into the next video, where I'm gonna start connecting the bones. Alright, bye.